The tension in the crowd was so thick it could be felt. Murmurs spread through the stands. On the battlefield, the old man, bloodied and battered, still stood his ground. Han sneered and mocked, "Impressive, you're still standing. But your ridiculous dagger technique, you've given up on yourself." The old man didn't reply. His trembling body bore the pain. Still, he slowly raised his arm. Han chuckled, "Oh, what a scene. You're letting your guard down. You're about to take on me like an amateur wrestler? Pathetic." With a roar, Han leaped forward, fingers ready like daggers. "Let's see what your defenses do now." The strike sank into the old man's gut, and blood splattered on the ground. The old man spat out more blood. Gasps echoed through the audience. But to everyone's amazement, the old man raised his trembling fist and punched his own stomach. Han's fingers, his greatest strength, had been crushed. The old man's counterattack was precisely calculated and devastating. Han staggered, clutching his injured hand. His confidence had now turned to confusion and rage. For the first time, the smile was gone from his face. He stared at his shattered fingers in disbelief. But before he could blink, the old man, despite his battered body, charged again. His right fist was tightly clenched, and he launched himself like a freight train. The punch hit Han's gut, shaking the entire arena. Han's body slammed into the wall like a rag doll. Blood dripped from Han's mouth. The old man was not in good shape either. His body trembled violently. Every breath had become agony. He looked at his ruined right arm, which now dangled uselessly. "This arm is finished," he thought grimly. "But I only have one more shot left." As the old man charged one final time, his expression was a mix of desperation and determination, like a sports underdog giving it his all on the final play. Someone had jumped down from the spectator stands. It was Sun Wu. The anger burning in his eyes was no longer just rage, it had become an inferno. His silhouette seemed engulfed in flames as he descended through the air, and the moment he landed, the entire arena fell silent. From behind, Miho's panicked voice echoed across the stadium. "Sun Wu, no." But at this point, no one could stop him. Han was still standing in the center of the ring, smiling proudly after his victory. One of his feet remained planted on the old man's face. The moment he saw Sun Wu approaching, his smile widened even further. "Come on, Sun Wu," Han sneered. Sun Wu landed inside the arena. Sun Wu's voice thundered through the arena. "Take your foot off him, or you'll regret it." Han laughed mockingly. There was a sinister edge hidden beneath his voice. "Worried about your mentor?" he said. "If you've got the guts, come over here and move me yourself." The challenge was clear. And Sun Wu's rage had already crossed the point of control. A crimson glow began radiating from his body, the same terrifying aura that had appeared during his fight against Kai. Sun Wu was just about to charge forward when a drone suddenly flew in front of him, locking its weapons onto him. In a cold, mechanical voice, it announced, "Any unauthorized combat will result in immediate termination." But Sun Wu didn't care. His fists clenched even tighter. "Take your foot off him." The next second, he launched himself straight at Han. Han grinned like a predator preparing to pounce. "Come on," he said. "Let's see how strong you really are." At that moment, Miho jumped into the arena as well. "We have to stop Sun Wu," he shouted. He had barely started running toward him when a figure shot past him like a bolt of lightning. Miho froze in shock. "Who is that? Whose speed is that?" It was Menon. In a single flash, Menon reached Sun Wu, leaped onto his back, and locked him into a tight chokehold. "What are you doing, you idiot?" Menon shouted, urgency filling his voice. Then he added, "If I taught you how to use a headbutt, then at least use it properly before you get yourself killed." Sun Wu was beyond reason. His anger had drowned out every ounce of logic. "Just let me go," he roared. But Menon only tightened his grip. At the same time, Miho sprang into action and swept Sun Wu's legs out from under him, sending him crashing hard onto the ground. Menon immediately tightened the chokehold even further, while Miho grabbed Sun Wu's legs and pinned them down. Despite Sun Wu's ferocious resistance, the two of them managed to immobilize him. From the sidelines, Han simply watched the scene unfold. Sun Wu was now struggling against his own teammates instead of his enemy. Leaning closer to his ear, Menon whispered, "You need to sleep for a while. In this state, you're no good to anyone." Slowly, the strength began to drain from Sun Wu's body. His breathing grew heavier. His vision started to blur. And little by little, his consciousness slipped away. The last thing he saw was Han. Han was still standing there, his foot planted firmly on the old man's face, lost in manic laughter. As Sunwoo drifted toward unconsciousness, a memory surfaced. A memory from one of his training sessions with the old man. The training had ended, and the old man was exhausted. Even so, he spoke in a gentle voice. "If something ever happens to me, would you look after my son?" Sunwoo draped a towel around his neck and looked up. "Of course. But why are you asking that all of a sudden?" The old man paused for a moment. Taking a deep breath, he looked at Sunwoo and said, "I just want someone who can stop him if he ever starts walking down the wrong path." But, as always, Sunwoo cut him off before he could continue. "Isn't that obvious?" The old man raised an eyebrow. "What's obvious?" Shrugging his shoulders, Sunwoo wiped his face with the towel. "You still have a lot left to teach me." He glanced at him with a faint smile. "And if I want to keep learning from you, then I'll have to become friends with your son, right? Don't tell me you've already run out of lessons." The old man was caught completely off guard. A small, unexpected laugh escaped his lips. "Is that so?" he said softly. Then, with a playful grin, he ruffled Sunwoo's hair. "So even after I'm gone, you're planning to keep using me?" The memory shattered. Reality came crashing back. The old man was still lying on the ground. Broken. Bruised. Almost lifeless. Han's foot was still pressing against his face. On the opposite side of the arena, Sunwoo lay unconscious. Menon and Miho still had him pinned down, both breathing heavily from the struggle. "That was close," Miho muttered between breaths. Han slowly surveyed the aftermath before letting out a low, malicious chuckle. "What a waste." But then a new voice cut through the arena. Amanda had arrived. Her eyes were fixed on Han. "You've already taken all of Sunwoo's attention," she said coldly. "So are you going to leave now, or do you still need more of his attention and affection?" Han's expression immediately hardened. He turned toward her with icy eyes. "Do you want me to kill you with my own hands?" Amanda didn't flinch. Not even for a second. She pointed toward the hovering drone above them. "Sure. Why not?" A faint smirk appeared on her face. "But if you try anything, your precious drone guide will blow you apart before you can even touch me." Then her expression darkened. A clear bloodlust flashed across her eyes. "Or you can die by my hands instead." Han laughed at the threat. Slowly, deliberately, he lifted his foot off the old man's face. As he turned to leave, he shot Amanda one last venomous glare. "It doesn't matter." His voice was calm, but filled with killing intent. "I'm going to kill every single one of you." With that, he walked out of the arena. The sound of his footsteps echoed through the stadium until he disappeared. Amanda immediately rushed to the old man's side. Dropping to her knees, she quickly began checking his injuries. Several tense moments passed. Then she finally let out a breath of relief. "He's alive." The words instantly lifted the weight hanging over everyone's hearts. The old man had survived. Amanda urgently waved toward the medical team. "Get over here, now. He needs immediate treatment." As the medics rushed over, Amanda's eyes suddenly fell on the old man's injured left hand. Amanda suddenly fell silent in thought. That hand saved my life. Her mind drifted back to the fight. At the most critical moment, the old man had used his left hand to block Han's deadly finger dagger technique. It had been a precise, delicate, and literally life-saving move. If he hadn't made that split-second decision, the outcome could have been far worse. The medical team carefully placed the old man onto a stretcher and quickly carried him away. Amanda remained standing there for a few moments, watching them leave. The scene then shifted to a VIP room, where manager Yenwoo sat watching the match replay. His teeth were clenched with excitement. "Han Min-soo," he muttered in a low but energized voice. "That kid is a monster in every sense of the word." He turned toward Kim and impatiently gestured with his hand. "How does he use his fingers like weapons?" Adjusting his glasses, Kim began explaining. "Because Han Min-soo's enhancement is extremely unique. Most strength-enhancing doping methods simply increase muscle mass. The muscles become larger, but that's about it. But in Han Min-soo's case, the tissues surrounding his bones, his tendons, ligaments, and connective tissues, have developed abnormally." Kim paused for a moment. "You could say that, in some ways, he may even be more functional than Sunwoo, whose bones themselves have been enhanced." Manager Yenwoo's eyes narrowed. "Then shouldn't we recruit him to our side immediately?" Kim shook his head. "Han Min-soo is a fighter personally managed by the director. Getting direct access to him isn't easy." The answer visibly frustrated Yenwoo. But Kim quickly continued. "Don't worry. There are still plenty of incredible fighters left. especially the one fighting in the next match. Yinwu leaned back in his chair, intrigued. The next match? The female fighter, right? The one who uses capoeira? Kim nodded. Yes. She's next. Yinwu scoffed. Capoeira? Isn't that just some kind of dance? Seems pretty useless in a real fight. Kim's gaze drifted toward the window. For a moment, he looked lost in thought. Capoeira is a dance, he said. But that's only part of the story. When Portugal colonized Brazil, African slaves were brought there as laborers. To survive brutal working conditions and oppression, many of them tried to develop their own methods of combat, but they couldn't train openly. So they disguised their martial art as a dance, allowing them to practice without drawing suspicion from their overseers. It may look like a dance, but in reality, it is a martial art born from suffering and pain, not joy. He adjusted his glasses again. After Brazil gained independence, capoeira became associated with various criminal activities. Because of that, the government eventually banned it. Kim's expression hardened. So no, capoeira isn't just practical. It's frighteningly effective. The scene shifted back to the arena. Amanda stood in the center of the battleground. The number 19 glowed beside her name, marking her current rank. Her chosen fighting style, capoeira, made her stand out from the rest. A drone hovered nearby, silently monitoring her movements. Then the arena's announcement system came to life. All players, please enter the arena and prepare for the next round. Amanda's eyes settled on her opponent. Without even turning her head fully, she carefully analyzed him. Hyuksu, ranked 10th. He entered the arena with complete confidence. His specialty was mixed martial arts, a lethal and highly versatile combat style. Amanda's gaze never wavered. The drone's announcement echoed across the arena. The match between Amanda and Hyuksu will now begin. Amanda immediately assumed her fighting stance. Determination radiated from every movement. Meanwhile, her opponent remained completely still. His face was blank, expressionless, motionless. Amanda narrowed her eyes. So he's underestimating me too. Without a moment of hesitation, she launched a flawless crane kick. Her body twisted through the air like an acrobat performing a dance, every movement flowing seamlessly into the next. Cutting through the tension, she declared, "If you're just going to stand there, then I'll make the first move." But the moment her kick closed in on Hyuksu, his demeanor changed. A sinister grin spread across his face. A dark, devilish chuckle escaped his lips. Back in the VIP room, manager Yenwu watched the fight unfold with wide eyes. So this is how capoeira is used? He immediately turned toward his device and began scanning Hyuksu's stats. If he's ranked 10th, then he must be incredible. Kim pushed up his glasses and replied in a calm but precise tone. Hyuksu is a mixed martial artist. He wasn't particularly successful at first, but after receiving sensory enhancement doping, his kinetic vision improved dramatically. Yenwu tilted his head. Kinetic vision? Kim nodded. Yes. He can perceive movement at extraordinary speeds. That's why his market value skyrocketed. The VIPs even gave him a nickname. Yenwu looked intrigued. What nickname? Kim adjusted his glasses again. The 10-second king. Yenwu raised an eyebrow. That's a strange name. Why? Because every single one of his matches ends in a knockout within 10 seconds. Not one fight has lasted longer than that. Yenwu let out an impressed laugh. Amazing. If he's really that good, then maybe we should consider recruiting him too. Kim's expression turned serious. If he maintains his reputation in this round as well, his rank could jump to 5th place or even higher. The scene shifted back to the arena. The countdown timer continued ticking. Hyuksu stood motionless, watching Amanda's kick approach. A wicked grin spread across his face. Even top-ranked fighters fall for this defensive stance. They all attack with confidence. But my dynamic vision can see everything. At the very last moment, Hyuksu effortlessly avoided most of Amanda's kick. A smug smile appeared on his face. He reached out and grabbed her leg with an iron-tight grip. Chuckling to himself, he said, "Your game's over." But before he could enjoy his victory any further, his vision suddenly blurred. The world flipped upside down. Hyuksu's eyes widened in confusion. Huh? Why is the floor up here? Before he could process what had happened, his face slammed into the ground with brutal force. The sheer power and momentum behind Amanda's kick had turned the entire fight around in an instant. A muffled voice escaped from him. "Did I just lose, in under 10 seconds? Amanda released him and calmly stepped back. Then she stood tall in the center of the arena. The entire stadium fell silent. Everyone was in shock. She had done the impossible. The so-called 10-second king had been defeated at his own game. And in even less time than 10 seconds. A drone floated closer and scanned Hyuksu's motionless body. Then its mechanical voice echoed through the arena. Match concluded. Winner, Amanda. Amanda looked down at her defeated opponent and spoke in a calm but cutting voice. There are some techniques that even enhanced senses can't detect.